I've left the haunted hotel in Shrewsbury and arrived at the Albrighton Country Estate. The Albrighton Country Estate is set in 200 acres of ancient woodland and is the perfect setting for my next activity, walking with hawks. Man's relationship with hawks dates back hundreds of years. Historically, it's thought of as the sport of kings, but I'm teaming up with Mark Southall, a falconer who allows the public to walk with hawks. The Harris hawk is native to Southern America, where it's known for hunting cooperatively in groups. Since the 70s and 80s, Harris hawks have been increasingly used in falconry, as they're one of the easiest birds of prey to train, and they're also one of the most social.
Now, what would you normally do on this walk? You'd sort of let him go and he'd get his exercise, is that how it works?
That's right, yeah, we'll let him go. He follows us on through the trees, they follow on naturally. And there's two ways we hunt these guys. We can either fly them free like that, free fly them, or we can fly them off the glove fist like we're doing now.
Well, I'm very keen to see this, so shall we let him free?
Yeah, we'll let him go.
Straight off and perched up on a branch.
Yeah.
So he stayed quite close by us there. Now, how do you train him to come back and respond to you?
They follow on naturally. Obviously, they're food orientated. They know I'm the food supply. They know I've got food in the bag. So they'll naturally follow us on through the woods. And here he comes now.
And what food have you got in there?
What we feed them on is day-old chicks or day-old cockerels.
Oh, right.
But to cool them down to the glove, what we use is little pieces of the leg meat, just as a little temper to bring him down.
Oh, wow, look at that.
And there you go.
So controlled. I mean, he was just kind of cruising a foot above the ground and just swooping up. The beak is particularly impressive, isn't it?
The beak basically is a meat tearing device.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people say to me, God, the beak looks dangerous. The beak isn't dangerous. You know, if they peck you, it doesn't really hurt. It's the talons that have got the power. And they can put on something like 400 pounds of pressure with the talons.
Goodness me.
So it's quite impressive. You gonna go, mate? There you go.
So how do these guys hunt in the wild?
These are broadwings, and this is the way that broadwings hunt. They'll sit on a concealed perch. They'll wait for something to come underneath, a rabbit, pheasant, whatever it may be, and they will stoop down from that concealed perch.
Right, so it's ground-dwelling sort of animals?
Yeah, as I said, these are broadwing, and they take more fur than feather. So basically, they take more ground dwelling. These guys, they're not built with the speed that the short wings are, the Acceptors, the sparrowhawks, the goshawks. They haven't got that speed and agility, so they hunt with stealth.
And it's the eyesight, isn't it, that makes them sort of particularly good hunters?
Yeah, I mean, these guys, what I always say to people, a quote I always use is, if these guys could read a newspaper, they could read one from the length of a football pitch.
Right, OK.
So that's quite impressive eyesight, really.
Very key indeed.
What he's actually doing now is what we call mantling. So mantle is a French word, as in mantelpiece, which means to cover. So basically he's covering his food, so any birds up in the sky, up in the trees, they can't actually see what he's eating.
So he just shields it, so no one's going to come in and nick his dinner,
That's
basically.
right, yeah. So especially he's using his wings as a cloak, just to hide the food.
Brilliant, isn't it? Doesn't stand on ceremony, does he?
No, and the head will go down in one.
All right, well, should we let him go again? And I'm very keen to have a go,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah, no worries.
Off he flies.
So what I want you to do then, Joe,
Yeah.
is to put the back of your hand towards the bird so he lands on your hand like that. And what I want you to do is put it out to the side so the bird lands, is looking at open space and not your body.
Horizon, okay.
So what I'll do is just put a little bit of meat in your glove.
OK, there it is.
And just keep your hand quite rigid when the bird comes in.
That's a practice swoop.
Just turn it around again and he'll come down. There it goes.
There he is. He likes that. All done? Yeah? Happy with that? So attentive. He's always on the look, isn't he, for something. Here he comes. Look at that. And actually, he's very light to the touch. He just sort of very gently puts himself down. And it's that final approach as he glides in. It's completely silent, isn't it? Effortless, and you just wouldn't hear him coming.
Good boy.
He's keeping an eye
Good
on
lad.
him.
Good boy.
There we go.
A woodland walk with a hawk as your companion is one way to enjoy the Shropshire countryside.